Alright, another clean critique. This one's going to have a little bit of a jerk too in it. So we got Brandon on the left and I'm on the right. Brandon, I think, is working with 265, which would be a clean and jerk PR. He's cleaned it before, but he's never jerked it. I'm at 255, which is only 10 pounds under my front squat, and would be a PR for both the clean and the jerk. So let's go ahead and get into it. Both of us are set up into a pretty good position. We'll talk about this here shortly. I want to put a little line right here to watch our back angles. So the idea is to keep that same back angle as we stand and have that same back angle when the bar reaches the top of the knee. You're going to see both of us have similar mistakes. I'm a little worse on this one. I need to work on my midline, and I'll show you why as the bar comes off the ground. Now I'm going to do one more line. We're going to do one more line following the bar track. Okay, so we're going to follow the bar track on both athletes, on both lifts. So we're going to be able to see what the bar is doing. The idea is we want the bar to move back slightly to the top of the knee. And if we're just watching the bar path, both of us get the bar moving backwards from the ground. Mine a little bit more so than Brandon's, but I want you to look at our backs. If you look at our backs, neither of us can maintain our back angle off the ground. Our first move for both of us is hips up, and as the hips come up, we lose midline. Mine more so than Brandon's. Now as we reach this position, we're pretty much identical.
See you later, buddy.
And then when we get to the top of the knee, we return back to a pretty good position there. So I got the bar back from where it started on that line. My back angle is pretty close to where I started. Brandon is a little bit higher in the shoulders than where he started, so maybe he needs to start a little higher in the shoulders. But both of us are in a pretty decent position with vertical shins, shoulders out over the bar on both occasions, creating some leverage, getting some tension in the hamstrings. Let's go ahead and get rid of all that nonsense. Now here's where things really go bad. Even though we had kind of a dirty girl, a dirty stripper thing going on at the start, both of us managed to get to a pretty good position at the top of the knees. But if we zoom in here on our feet, you're going to see an issue here. When the feet start coming off the ground, Brandon more so than mine, we haven't yet got the bar to our hips. Okay, I'm actually in a pretty decent position. I'm a little early, but if we back up, Brandon is really, really early. So he's barely getting the bar past the knees. The heels are already coming up, and that causes that bar to come forward. So if we put that bar track back on there, here, you're going to see that bar fly out in front. Where on mine, you're going to see a similar issue, not quite as bad. Watch the bar path. So both of us are getting the bar too forward. Now watch our feet from the jump to the catch. Both of us have to jump forward to collect the bar and get into that bottom position. Now, regardless of the mistakes we made, both of us managed to reach a pretty strong bottom position. Got vertical torsos sitting down into the bottom nicely. Now here's the main difference between these two lifts. Brandon has a 315 plus pound front squat, so he's at 50 pounds. He's at 50 pounds below his front squat PR. So he gets under this bar and he's completely comfortable driving the bar straight up. Where I'm only 10 pounds from my front squat PR, so as soon as the bar catches on my shoulders, if I'm not completely solid in the midline, I'm going to lose that position and dump it, which is what happens. Brandon's able to stand it up. Alright, now we're going to talk about Brandon's jerk. So let's go back here. Okay, so if we get back to here, we clear this, and here's this big problem on a jerk. He misses this, obviously, as you saw. But if we put a line on here and look at his bar path,
So going around that.
maybe. Here we go. So if we get a line on here and look at his bar path, ideally we want the end of the bar to stay exactly on that line. We want his torso to drop straight down and be parallel to that line, and we want the bar to stay on that line. You can see right here his torso starts getting a little bit bent over. And as the bar comes up, that bar is going to follow the path of that torso angle. So the bar is going to jump forward excessively and now the bar is out in front of him, and he can't get his shoulders under the bar, he can't get his lats under the bar, and subsequently the bar is going to try to fall forward, and he can't save it because it's so far out in front. On top of that, he had to jump forward, wasting energy, and he's going to miss that jerk forward. If he could dip straight down and straight up and drive that bar straighter up and straighter down, drive himself underneath it, it'd be a lot easier to lift.